All righty, folks, we are going to talk about the Magnificent Seven. We are also going to throw in Bitcoin. Bitcoin last week had what I'll call a monumental week. 11 ETFs approved. I think it ripped higher and then dumped. But we're going to take a look at the chart, see if the chart is broken with the one and only Mr. Dan Bird. Why don't we start with the Magnificent Seven?
Okay, I've got a few things to say about Bitcoin, but
Save
yes,
that for later.
yeah, we'll do that at the end.
There you go.
All right, here's my website. If you want to get the newsletter, it's breakpointtrading.net, and you can register your email and get notified, or not. You can just click here and get the newsletter for free.
Cool.
So the Magnificent Seven. I'm going to go to the charts section here, and at the bottom, I have. So this little square down here is something that I started doing for the whole market.
Mm-hmm.
I call it a market bias matrix, where I'm just tracking all the different categories in the market.
Mm-hmm.
And it shows you short term, medium term, and long term. And if anything changes on that day, so I update this every single day. So this is Friday.
Mm-hmm.
If there's a big square, big red or green square, that means it changed that day. So real quick, if we look at, because this is coming up next week,
Mm-hmm.
retail sales.
Yes.
If we look at retail right here, XRT, you can click on that and look at the chart. So this gave a bear signal on Friday, short-term bear. And usually the way they operate is you get a short-term, then you get a medium-term, and then you get a long-term.
Okay.
So we just got the short-term bear on Friday. If I were looking at this chart and knowing that retail sales is coming next week, I would short this ETF. In fact, I might actually do that on Tuesday.
Okay.
Short this ETF.
Not financial advice.
Not financial advice. I'm just telling you based on what this chart looks like, and based on the fact that it just gave a short-term bear, then it's likely, the probability is it will go down more. It's not a guarantee. Doesn't mean it will go down more. It's just that the probability is that it might. And so that's the value of this whole thing right here. This bias matrix is just watch it when they change, and you know, if you're a position trader, you can take positions based on when that changes. So now let's go back to the Magnificent Seven and look at that same kind of chart on the Magnificent Seven, and it shows you Apple has short-term and medium-term bear. Tesla has a short-term bear. I actually thought it would get a medium-term bear on Friday, but it didn't. But if it has one more down day, it will get one on Tuesday.
Okay.
All right. So the other ones actually look pretty good right now. So let's start. I want to start with Nvidia.
Sure.
Because last week we talked about Nvidia. You asked me about it, and I said,
you did. I remember cup and handle, 500, half the way, goes to 600. By the end of the week, it was at like 550. I'm like, that son of a gun nailed it again. See, I remember our conversation.
Exactly right. Exactly. So here's the cup and handle. Here's the channel that it's been trading in sideways. Ever since this big breakout on this earnings back here, it went from 300 to 400, and then just kind of traded sideways between 400 and 500. And I said last week, if you see this little green, this tiny little green one right there, I don't know if you can see that one.
Yep.
By the way, that's also the day that it got a bull signal on the bias chart. But that one was where it was when we talked last Sunday. Right. So the other ones here is 1 week. Those are 5 bars right there.
Yep.
We talked on Sunday, and I said, this is setting up with a cup and handle, and the measured move, this is technical analysis, measured move of a cup and handle is from the bottom to the breakout or the resistance line, which is 100 points. So the measured target for this is 600. And that was before it broke out.
Yeah, no, I mean, I remember the conversation explicitly. I remember thinking, oh my God, 100-point move, that's not possible. And you got $50 in a week.
Right.
Like, Jesus, this guy knows what he's doing.
And not only that, but Tesla has a history of running up into earnings.
You're talking about Nvidia, sorry.
I'm sorry. Yeah, Nvidia.
Yeah, no,
yeah. And earnings are February 21st. we're still a month away.
Oh yeah. It's 7 weeks or 5 weeks, 5 weeks. Yeah.
Now, a little word of caution on this. First of all, I would not buy it here.
No.
It's run too much now. What I would have done if I had been listening to myself last week, I didn't buy more, by the way. I have enough in my portfolio right now,
Right.
but I'm not
Yeah.
going to sell it. But
Yep.
I would have put a buy stop just above 500, like at 510 or something,
Mm.
and just bought a little bit right there at 510,
Mm-hmm.
and then put a stop in right below that, like at 490. It's a pretty safe low risk move.
Mm.
And then if it did go through like it did, then it just would have executed at 510
Yeah.
and just would have kept going up.
There you go. All right. Well, you got that one.
All right, so that's Nvidia. Let's just go down the list.
Sure.
Here's Google. Google looks good. It's already broken out. Looks like it might, still pretty healthy. You can see that it likes to pull back and then take off and pull back and take off, and that's a very healthy view for a stock to do that.
All right.
So Google looks pretty good. Amazon also looks good.
Wow, look at that.
Amazon pulled back to the 50-day and took off. That's also the sign. That's where big institutions like to add to their portfolios.
Right.
So if they want a big position on Amazon, they can't buy it all at once. So they might buy some when it comes down. And by the way, what they do is they tell the market makers to make the buy for them.
Right.
So, BlackRock or whoever, JP Morgan, their huge clients might say, we want to be in Amazon. And they'll tell their market maker, okay, I want you to buy Amazon, and here's the target price, and this is the amount of money that you can spend.
Yeah.
But of course, they can't do it all at once because it will move the stock too much. So
Right.
they'll buy a little bit here, it'll run up. They'll wait for it to pull back. They'll buy more. That's what makes it run up again. Then it'll pull back. They'll buy more. So they buy on the pullbacks, and that's what retail traders should learn to do.
Okay.
Buy on the pullbacks, not after it's already run.
Not on the rip. Come on.
Not on the beginning of the rip. Yeah. Okay. Apple. Now, if you notice down here on the matrix, bias matrix, Apple has two bear signals, right? So if we look at Apple, now it's gone through its 50-day and it's actually gone back up to it. Now, will it continue or will it get rejected like it's been rejected over here?
Okay.
The other things about Apple are not real positive right now, but that doesn't mean that it won't break through and go right back up again. But Apple right now has two bear signals. It has a short-term and a medium-term bear.
Got it. Okay.
It does not have a long-term bear. To get a long-term, this red line, actually this red dash line up here, would have to come all the way down to the 200-day, the gray line.
Yeah.
To get a long-term bear. So that probably won't happen.
Okay.
Meta looks great. Meta's taking off, and it had another nice run right along with Nvidia last week.
Okay.
So Meta's looking good. I wouldn't buy it there, but
yeah,
any of these Magnificent Seven stocks, I would buy on a pullback, not on a run like this.
Okay.
So Microsoft had a really nice little cup right here. There's no handle, but there's a cup, and broke out a resistance, and it's heading higher. Microsoft looks really good. Nvidia we talked about. Tesla. So Tesla has a short-term bear right here. And by the way, for those that trade options, one way that you can use this on the website is watch the short-term signal. And whenever there is a solid box around it, that means if it, around Tesla, that means it would have changed from a bull to a bear that day. So if you're doing options, as soon as you see that change, the short-term change on that day, then enter a put option.
Interesting.
Or a bearish spread. right? On the day that it changes, on the day that you see the box around it. So here's Tesla.
Got it.
So the day that it got the
Ooh.
box is right up here. It's
Yep.
right where this pink line crosses the blue line. So right here,
That's
you
the
could have
ugliest chart of
yeah,
the
it doesn't
7.
look too good. But
No.
using that bias matrix, just like I explained, you would have shorted
Mhm.
it here.
Right.
And most of the Magnificent Seven, by the way, have weekly options.
Mhm.
So you could do an option just for the next Friday,
Right.
and you
Hmm.
know buy a put right there, and you would have been making money.
Yeah. Very cool. All right. Well,
Now,
we'd be remiss if we didn't add in the Bitcoin discussion. Oh, sorry. Go
yeah.
ahead.
By the way, see where the blue line's crossing the red right over
Yep.
here. It
Yep.
hasn't quite crossed, but it's almost crossing. As soon as that happens, it will then
Yep.
get a bear, a medium term bear,
Got it.
which probably will be on Tuesday.
Okay.
All right, so Bitcoin. Let's take a look at Bitcoin.
Bitcoin had a big week. Got ETFs approved, ran up to like 48 or 49, down to 42. Wild week.
Yep, there's Bitcoin. So I put the negative divergence lines in here too.
Mhm.
Bitcoin. This is a textbook example of buy the rumor, sell the news.
Yeah.
The rumor was back here. There's going to be an ETF. The price ran up while momentum started to slow. Price ran up some more, not as steeply, but momentum dropped even more steeply.
Mm.
So negative divergence. So that was the signal that probably it's going to be a buy the rumor, sell the news scenario.
Yep.
And that's exactly what happened. Now it's sitting right on its 50-day right down here.
Okay.
So for 2 days, it really hasn't done much of anything. So is that it? Is that the end of the selling? Maybe. Don't really know. Very low volume too on those 2 days, incidentally. So we'll have to see what happens. But the other thing that is interesting is the Bitcoin miners.
Mm-hmm.
Here's Marathon.
Mm.
Marathon Digital.
Yep.
It actually started dropping even before the ETF came out.
Oh,
But
wow.
you can see how it ran up on the rumor of the ETF and then is dropping like a rock right now. The other one is Riot. These are Bitcoin miners.
Mm.
Looks very similar. In fact, this looks
Yeah.
even worse because now it's below both the 50 and the 200-day.
Oh, ouch.
So Bitcoin miners are the ones that are really taking it on the chin. And it implies to me that Bitcoin may have more downside left in it.
Mm. Okay.
Go back here. The 50-day really needs to hold up, but if it doesn't, then you basically got a support line right about there,
Right.
which is right where it came down to.
Yep.
And then the next one is right down here.
Okay.
So somewhere in that range is probably where it's going to go to before it starts back up again.
Yeah. All right. Very, very cool. Thank you for doing this each week. It's going to be an interesting week. We got retail sales on Wednesday. I think we get pending home sales on Thursday or Friday.
Yep.
Lots of stuff going on. We've had
And
some pretty.
and by the way, based on the CPI number,
Mhm.
do you think that I might nail it again, or maybe that's the time where I get the swing and a miss, where I said that the Fed might actually raise a quarter point in
Oh,
February.
there's no chance they raise rates. Are you
No
freaking kidding me?
chance. Okay.
Zero.
It's a really long shot, but I'm putting it out there that I think there's a possibility they could raise one more time.
You think they're so hold on. So you're not necessarily saying January 31st. You're saying one more
Yeah.
time this year.
No. I'm saying February 1st.
Oh, there's no chance. You're
Yeah,
freaking
I'm saying
insane.
February 1st. That's the last chance that they will have if they want to raise one more time, another quarter point. That's the last chance they'll have. After that,
Yeah,
the February number is going to come down significantly, and all
exactly.
the ones after that will come down.
Yes,
But
yes.
this is the only one where they have the ammunition based on CPI and based on jobs and GDP to say, okay, it's still too hot. I'm going to raise one more time.
No, Jerome Powell and his minions would have tried to prep the market for it. All the Fed speakers the last week, and oh, by the way, we get 10 more speaks next week. So
Yeah,
I'll say it
that's
this
true.
way.
True.
You'll have 10 speeches next week. 8 of the 10 would have to talk about raising rates. They
Right.
don't want to surprise the market like that.
Yeah.
There's
That's
no
probably
chance.
true. That's probably true.
Yeah. So anyway,
So
I like it. I like it
I'll
though.
probably be wrong on that one. It's a long shot anyway, but I just want to put it out there just because
You know what? I got to
just
tell you though,
interesting.
I love bold calls. I make bold calls all the time. You feel like a genius when you get them, and you know when you're wrong, it's like I learned something. It's okay.
Yeah, but I only want one T-shirt from
Yes, you only want the nailed it T-shirt.
you. Right.
No problem. I've already ordered it. It should be it'll be ready for you.
All
Dan,
right. Hey,
thank you for doing this every week.
by the way,
Mhm.
get me a booth. I'll announce it right on this call. Get me a booth at your show.
Oh yeah, you have a booth at the show, so people can come see you and ask
I
questions. And
we'll be out there if people want to talk about stocks. I
yep.
know most of it's real estate, but if they want to talk about stocks, they can come out.
Oh, I'm sure you're going to be inundated with folks. So we look forward to seeing you there. Thanks for coming out.
All right. Have a good
Got
weekend.
it. Mhm.